Good morning, gorgeous people, or whatever time of day it is for you. How are you all doing? I hope you're well. I'm going to crack on with some cleaning today. More of my sort of spring cleaning. I mean, it's jobs that one would ordinarily do, but maybe less frequently than the weekly clean. So, first of all, my kit today. I have got with me an old pudding bowl, one of my old tea towels, one of the really old ones I use for cleaning purposes. That's going to come into action later. Some rubbing alcohol, a little old teacup. It's really old, crazy glazy. Little teacup. More cloths, but this is like a cleaning cloth rather than a tea towel. An old toothpaste, scrubbing brush, and the stars of the show, some bicarbonate of soda, good old fashioned vinegar that I use as fabric conditioner, hence it's labelled fabric conditioner, just white distilled vinegar, and my old leisure card. It's one of these plastic cards. This could be an old credit card or bank card, any old card, but it happens to be my old leisure card. There is no leisure centre for me to use, but this is the card I got, and this was the card that gave me my bit of discount at the allotment for all these years, since, I think, was it 2018? It's for lower income households. So I applied, as I said my income is really, really, really low, and they said, yeah, you definitely qualify for a reduction pass. So that's going to be in use today as well. Right, let's start this end of the bathroom. I am aware that it's hard for the camera to pick up what I'm going to be talking about today. Actually, let's just get the soap. And there's literally a scrubbing brush at every washing station in the house. That's you can tell a gardener lives here, can't you? Right, so my problem, this hot water tap is just starting to drip as well, so I'm going to have to get a replacement cartridge for that. It's, I feel at the moment like the minute I get one thing done, three more things need doing. Anyway, that's not why we're here today. This is all about lovely London hard water. Can you see? I don't know if you can see around the book. So this, I've cleaned the basin. There's some little splashy drip marks just now because I literally just grabbed myself a cup of water and splashed. So I get this ring around the bottom of the plug hole where obviously as the water drains, just that little bit of residue sits there, and it ends up, and I don't know if you can tell from that. Look, you all know what Limescale looks like and feels like. It's really unsightly. It looks filthy. It's not filthy. It has been cleaned, but it looks filthy, and I don't like it. And gosh, I think it's been months since I've done this job, so I'm hoping that when I do this today, I'll get this good and clean again, and it'll stay clean till, it'll stay clean for a while. So all I'm going to do is pour, I'm going to have to do things left-handed. I'm just going to literally pour some vinegar in that's going to cover that, and then also just slightly from the drip marks from the taps. I'm going to, I hate the smell of vinegar. The only time crikey, come here. The only time I like the smell of vinegar is when it's on my chips at the sea. So I'm going to leave that to do its work. It's basically fighting an alkaline, the Limescale, the calcium carbonate, I think, with an acid, the vinegar. I'll come back and then it will need a little bit of a scrub, but it's going to be a slightly three-pronged approach today because, and this is what it's not going to, it can't pick up on camera unfortunately, but right up the sides of the basins, there's little deposits from where I splash. I can feel them when I clean, you know, with a soft sponge. I can feel that slight grittiness. It dulls the surface. So I want to get vinegar right up the sides. Now, to fill the entire basin with vinegar, that would be a lot of vinegar. And it would start to be quite an expensive exercise. So I've got an idea for that for later, but we're going to let that bottom bit do its thing first. And then on the taps, they're not too bad on the front because I use my thumbnail and I chip it off. I don't do manicures. But around the back of the tap, sort of, can you see? So yeah, around the back where a drip will catch before it falls. I can feel there's quite a bit of build up there. I'm going to try something completely different today. It's that vinegar. Ugh. I know people say things like, oh, put some drops of your favourite lavender oil in, or add some citrus fruit peel. No, it still stinks like vinegar. Yeah, what I've done in the past for the taps is get something like some lavatory paper, fold it, get a wodge of it, soak it in vinegar, put that around the tap and then tie it on with an elastic band. I've read about a different hack and I'm going to try that today and we can find out together whether it works, but we'll do that later. Let this basin bit do its thing first, and then what's next on the list? Excuse me, I've got a rust stain that needs tackling, and again I'm going to try something different, or something new. It's new to me because I've never got rust on anything until now. So yeah, let's go and have another, or should I say, let's go and have a go at another new thing. Going to do this job in the kitchen, although I might then go and put it in the bathroom because I'm going to be using vinegar again for this job. I really don't want it stinking out the whole house. So I have a lovely tea towel here. It's one of my favourites. Look, it's all different kinds of beans, and at the bottom it says, be a kind human being. And you can see right in the middle, no, it's not a scarab beetle. It kind of does look like a beetle, doesn't it? I mean, the thing is, whoopsie, it's not I was going to say it's not massively noticeable. It is noticeable. It was something I brought back from the garden. It was one of my, it was my little lantern from my friend Linny, and I gave everything that's come back from the garden. I've given things a bit of a wash because they're really grubby after years and years outside. And when I finished it, it sat on top of here, and of course there was a little slit under the bottom, and that's what happened, a bit of rust. So the thing with rust is don't use hot water, that'll set the stain. Don't use bleach, chlorine bleach, that will set the stain. So what I'm going to do, I'll bring you in closer. I've got my tray with all my cleaning bits on. Let's pop that there. Then I can get you up on the counter and show you more closely what I'm doing. That would be helpful, wouldn't it? I'm kicking myself slightly. I think I've loaned a book to someone and never had it back because for this rust stain, I went to fetch my book off the shelf. It's called something, or it was called something like 1001 Household Tricks or something like that, and it was all kind of cleaning, repairs, household management. Anyway, couldn't find it, so I've gone to good old internet for a recipe for this. So I'm going to make up a paste. So what I thought I would do is an old plate that's not as precious as my others to put this on, because it is going to be slightly damp. Then rust stain over the plate, right in the middle. And also I think this plate, because if any of this rust stain ends up going through and goes onto the plate, it won't matter too much. So for the recipe, I'm going to be using vinegar and bicarb. And my toothbrush, my old toothbrush. Never throw your old toothbrushes away. Or if you want to, it goes in the compost bin. Right, I'm going to make up a paste, essentially. Let's tip you down and you can see what... This is one of those days, excuse me, I know it makes awful noises when I'm mucking around with tipping the camera down. This is one of those days where I think I could really do with a camera woman. Oh, move the crumbs out of the way. Okay, so bicarb, teaspoon. I'm just going to mix it in the little egg cup just because it's small and contained. A drop. Come on, let's get a measuring spoon. Not because I'm behind you. Not because I want to have an accurate measurement, but just because I don't want to spill it everywhere. And that teaspoon's rather flat. So I'm going to add, well, this is 10 mils. This is the equivalent of 2 teaspoons. Fizzy wizzy, let's get busy. And now, that might be too runny. Have I made it too runny? Might not be enough even. Let's add a little bit more bicarb. These things, it's always a bit of an experiment, isn't it? There we go, that's more like a paste now. And then I'm just going to get that onto the rust mark. I think actually that the back of the spoon may do as good a job as the toothbrush. Just get that all covered. Do you know what? I've got to be honest with you, I don't really have high hopes for this, but we'll give it a go. I don't know how long to leave it, no idea, but there's all sorts going on today. I'm not in a hurry to do that, so I think maybe I'll leave it for a couple of hours or so. And then when I come back to it, maybe that will be time to get handy with the toothbrush and really scratch it in, really sort of push it into the fibres with the toothbrush. We'll see. Anyway, that's that bit done for now. My next job is going to use my old card, credit card, whatever card, and some rubbing alcohol and a cleaning cloth. So let's go and get on with that next. So this gorgeous picture of Charlotte Bronte. I love it, look at that fur. This is my next cleaning job. This is going to be tricky today as well with the light. Let me just move the candles out of the way. Now normally I'm very careful about this. You can see from that angle, can't you? I'm normally very careful when I blow out my candles. I wonder if I need to find an angle where it will show up. There we go. Yeah, and I blew one out in rather a hurry, and you can see I've basically sort of pebble dashed my Charlotte picture with wax. So that's the next cleaning job. I'm going to try and contain my messes today to either the kitchen or the bathroom. I've got a load of stuff to get on with. It's one of those days. It's a real kind of doing day, lots of bits and bobs of doing. Great big long list, but most of the jobs are short-ish. But a load of my next chunk of jobs, which aren't going to be in this video, they're in the living room. So try and keep things separate today. Anyway, let me tip you down. Is that enough tippage for you to see? Yeah. And literally all I'm going to do, I've got a basket. I've got a basket under me to to catch the bits. You're not quite far enough down. Cover my knees, cover everything. It's just a case of scraping, and then you can you see how it looks a bit dodgy, this, doesn't it? I can truly say I have never been into that whole scene of cutting up drugs and taking drugs. Not my scene, but I have seen it on telly. So yeah, it takes just a little bit of effort. Yeah, you can really see how it's, can you see that it's really mounding up. Now, as thoroughly as you do this, as hard as you go with it, go to a clean edge. That's definitely got the worst of it off. And I know that this isn't going to pick up on camera, so I'm not even going to try to show you, but on the, there are sort of, there's a little sort of residual. I wonder if it will, like with the shine, you can see that it looks almost scratched. There's just that little residual of wax on there, and that's where the rubbing alcohol comes in. Clean cloth, lint-free cloth. All the cleaning books say that, don't they? Good glug on there, and oh, enjoy the squeak. Honestly, this rubbing alcohol, even the smell of rubbing alcohol, it's like, is that going to get me high? Still, you know, there are worse chemical smells to have in the home than vinegar and rubbing alcohol, aren't there? I wish you could see what I can see, but I think you can probably hear what I can see by that. That's a good squeak, isn't it? There we go. That's absolutely, I wonder if getting a light reflecting it, can you see now all those residual bits of wax have gone, the ones that made it look almost like the glass was scratched. So once again, reflection through the window. Charlotte Bronte at her best. Oh, I could just grab those ears and kiss that nose right now. What a gorgeous girl. So I think, hang on a minute, it's, whoops, let's bring you back up here. There you are. Now, I'm just getting, my list is here, of course my list is here. That's it for the minute, because now I'm going to, leave things to do the work. I think that's possibly one of the things, it's possibly one of the downsides of using these slightly more gentle chemicals like vinegar, bicarb, what have you, is that things need time to work. So the rust, I mean, is it going to work? I don't know. It would be great if it does. Like I say, this is a first for me. But yeah, I think one of the drawbacks in our modern busy lives is that these things do take time. I need to leave that bathroom sink alone for a little while. Leave the rust stain alone. But that's why it's well worth trying these. They're not even products, are they? It's well worth trying these gentler, safer chemicals. But just plan your day so that, for instance, now I'm off to go and photograph a load of stuff for the shop, and then after that I'm going to do some cooking. I might even fit in making another video today, cooking and chatting. It's not about recipe, it's just about chatting. Then I can go back to the kitchen, the bathroom basin, give that a scrudge and do step 2. I'm actually changing my mind about step 3 and how I'm going to do it, but I'll let you know in this video. And then, yeah, I've got a whole list of other stuff then to fit in this afternoon. So it's almost like this is the stage 1 is breakfast, stage 2 is going to be after lunchtime, and stage 3 will be at supper time. One more scrub and then done. So it's a long day. If I was doing nothing else but waiting, what a waste. So yeah, give these things a go, but plan your day around it to know that there's going to be some waiting time. Don't sit and do nothing. Get on with other jobs that don't involve being in the bathroom next to the stinky vinegar. Right, I'll see you just after lunchtime back in the bathroom. I came back to look at this. It was about an hour later, and it really wasn't doing anything. So I thought maybe I have to scrudge it. The paste seemed a bit too dry, so maybe a bit more vinegar. So that's what I've done. And it, well, you can tell by the colour of this, the bicarb that's coming up, it does seem to be lifting some of it. But I think I am going to be left with, no matter what efforts, I think I am going to be left with a slightly darker spot there than everywhere else. It's hard to tell at the moment while it's, excuse me, while it's so wet. And I think putting it on the ceramic dish, the ceramic plate, was the right idea. I just wonder if I've just completely spread that, made the stain bigger. Come on, let's sprinkle a bit more bicarb. Never mind the recipe. Like I said, I think this is a bit more vinegar. Oh, in for a penny, in for 10 quid. I don't think there's anything to gain by leaving it sitting. So I think what I'll do next is I'm just going to give this a bit of a wash, give it a bit of wash out. But I think what I've done is I've just made the stain fainter but bigger. Never mind, it will still function as a tea towel. But I think if this was a precious vintage tablecloth, well, if it was a precious vintage tablecloth, I wouldn't have stood something on it anyway. Right, I'll give it a rinse out and we'll come back later. I've brought the tea towel over here to the front window so we get a bit of natural daylight. And obviously I've given it a wash through now, hand wash it. But I think it's done an okay job. Now that's an old stain I didn't get to in time. I put it in the washing machine, set the stain. But this, all of this was the rust stain from, I mean, it is faint, it's faintly there. But I think, you know what, for a couple of household ingredients, get on the job, it's not too bad. And actually when it has a proper wash in the washing machine, it may further reduce it. And of course at the moment it's still wet, so it looks a bit darker anyway. But yeah, you know what, I'm okay with that. That will do. And like I said, it still functions as a tea towel. Well, I can see it's already started to do a good job. All I've done, I've just given it a bit of so the vinegar's still in there, and I've given it a little bit, not too much of a scrub. I just wanted to check that it's lifting, and it is. You can see little bits of limescale in the vinegar. So that's, yeah, good, happy. Now I need to tackle the sides and the spouts. My loo roll is ready. I'm not going to try there was another hack I saw about with lemons, but I want to keep my lemons for my own consumption. I'm going to go with my old method. Now, how on earth am I going to get vinegar to stick to the sides? Let's take a pew and I'll show. Phew, I got a bit warm. Right, it's weird doing this on camera. Suddenly it's like, I feel all discombobulated and there's not enough space. There is enough space. I want to do the sides of the basin, but like I said, if I filled it completely with vinegar, so a bit of dust in there, a little fungus gnat, a dead one, they've long since gone. Yeah, if I was to fill the whole thing with vinegar, wow, it would use up a lot of vinegar and it would cost a lot. I'm actually just going to set the bowl there for a second because I am very clumsy, don't want to spill things. So I'm going to do it a different way. But first one, I'm going to get the taps underway. I happen to have these are freezer bags for Auntie Teapot. I've still got 2 whole rolls of them because I never use them. But for this, they'll be really handy. So, my little bag. I'm going to get a wodge of loo roll using my new lovely serious tissue. I'm very happy with it. But I'm just going to make a wad. Fold it, fold it, fold it, fold it, fold it. And I'm actually going to put my rubber gloves on now. I don't often wear them, but like I said, I just really loathe the smell of vinegar. And I do not want... God, these gloves are small. That's why they're in the back of the cupboard. That's why I never use them. No circulation. Yeah, I just don't want to be smelling vinegar on my hands for the rest of the day. Especially because I might be doing some ironing later. I can't get these gloves on. I'm going to have them surgically removed. Just while I'm trying to get these gloves on, talking of things surgical, the rubbing alcohol. It's getting a bit tricky to find. It used to be one of those things that you'd find in pretty much every chemist up and down the land. I'm just going to put my my tissue wodge in the bowl of vinegar. Squeeze a little bit out. Yeah, it used to be very commonly available. I had a really big bottle. My last one was really big. It had lasted ages. It was running out, so I went out to buy some, and I went to all the high street chemists, and they all said, no, we don't stock it. So I actually got it in one of my little independent, it's almost like a little hardware store. It's not hardware, but it's almost like that. They sort of do everything. Get that elastic on. It is a bit fiddly. Right, I'll just do that one for now and I'll do the other one off camera. But I just want to make sure that that wodge of wet lavatory paper, vinegar wet, I've just put my other elastic band in the vinegar. I just want to make sure it's got good contact. Now, for the basin, for the sides, this is going to get very messy. My old tea towel that's part of my cleaning kit, cleaning regime. I'm just going to get it really good and wet with the vinegar. A bit more in there. I have got a really big bottle of vinegar under the sink as well. Under the sink but at the back, and I just decant it into this just because it's just a much handier size, and also for tipping into the washing machine instead of conditioner, it's just easier to handle that than that sort of thing. Okay, that's good and soaked. So I'm just, hence the gloves today. Hold on a sec, because it's going to be tricky for me. And of course, oh God, the smell. I'm not selling using vinegar, am I? Turning my nose up at the smell. And of course there is that little puddle of vinegar still in the bottom of the sink from doing the plug hole bit. So there will be a little bit of that can wick up. And now the thing is to drape it over the basin. You might have to do it in 2 stages. I'll have to do it in 2 stages. I just got a real mouthful. I'm so sorry, God, I'm such a baby. Sorry, I don't mean to be. Just, yeah, get it all, prop it in contact and leave it. Close the bathroom door, open the bathroom window, close the bathroom door, walk away, and phew, hope it does its job. Now the other thing, I'll just say this while I'm going to have a vinegar smelling loo roll now, because I've just used vinegar fingers to pick it up. With this tea towel afterwards, and this is the bit where you think, oh, do some planning ahead and make time for it. Obviously it's pretty much sopping wet in the bottom of here, so you want to wring it out, but then you've got a lovely, because this is a really fine cotton tea towel, wring it out. You've got a ready mirror and window cleaner. So don't immediately rinse all the vinegar out or put it in the wash or whatever. Yeah, don't chuck that vinegar. Give it a scrudge out. Sorry, the bowl is just down here. Yeah, it's not a very convenient place to make a video. Yeah, you just give it a wring out so it's not sopping. And then use it to wipe over your bathroom mirrors, your shower door, even your window, your normal window cleaning, of. I think the stink of vinegar's gone to my head. Well, I'm making a right pig's ear, that'll do. Right. Yeah, so don't waste the vinegar. It's in the cloth, use it. Mirrors, shower door, windows. It helps to stop them streaking, steaming, all that. Can't get these gloves off. We will come back. What I will do, because it is a bit of a tight spot here and I'm feeling a bit clumsy with everything. What I will do is I get all this gubbins off. Do my scrub. It won't take much of a scrub. It shouldn't take too much of a scrub. Bring you back when it's all done so you can see it when it's finished. And that'll be us for the day, covering limescale, rust and wax. The old-fashioned way, cheap. Everything's been cheap today, and these are, they are safer chemicals to use in the home. I mean, everything's a chemical, isn't it? But in terms of the proprietary stuff that's on the market, which, I'm not going to go on one. You all know that. You can see the labels on the back of those, something Bing cleaners, and you read it and it's got pictures which show the devastation to wildlife if it gets out there. So yeah, it's cheap, it's easy, it just takes a little bit of time. So I'm now off to go and get on with one of my other jobs today, and I'll give this a couple of hours, let it have a really good soak, and what I will do, a couple of hours, and then I'm going to flip it, the tea towel, so it's then going to cover the back side of the basin, and hopefully, by much later this afternoon we can come back and see a nice sparkling clean bathroom sink. Woohoo! Sparkly shine, look at the shine on it now. Oh, I'm delighted. What's great, and this is what I was saying earlier, you can't see it on camera, but that now feels like, oh, silky porcelain smooth again. Yeah, it's, like I say, you can't really see the difference, but those little droplets of limescale, but yeah, I mean, you can probably tell by the way it's shining. It doesn't shine like that when there's limescale dulling it. The taps are looking sparkly and new, and also, after when I took the vinegary bits off the ends of the taps, those bits of loo roll that were vinegar soaked, I then wrapped around the bottoms of the taps, because just around here as well it gets really scaly, and you can see, whoopla, not an ounce of limescale down there now, all shiny, brand spanking new. That got me rather warm today. I'm glad with these little jobs that I've got through today. Obviously that, you know, what you've seen is a tea towel, a picture and a hand basin. Obviously I've been doing way more than that throughout the day as well. All my taps. It's one of those jobs, go around, get everything, you know, covered in vinegar, whatever it is, walk away, do something else, let the vinegar do the hard work. There's been a tiny bit of scrubbing, a little bit of elbow grease today, but not much. So they're all done. A ton of other stuff is done in the meantime too. And things like this, I just think when it comes to selling a home, you know, obviously when I'm looking around, if I see a sink that's coated in Limescale, I'm going to think to myself, well, I know I can get that off, but I might kind of go, maybe I want to knock the price down a bit because there's a lot of work to do. I don't want someone to come in here and think there's any work to do. I want them to look at that and think, wow, gorgeous, brand spanking, sparkly bathroom, don't have to do a thing. Yay! But in any case, I do this for me. This is for me, never mind selling. So yeah, I'm going to carry on with my bits and bobs. I'll do some more cleaning as these days go on, baskets, books, all sorts of bits and bobs. So I'll catch up again really soon, I hope, for another one. I don't know what it'll be, but whatever it is, I'll bring you along for the ride too. So until then, happy scrubbing, stay well, cheerio lovelies. I need to go and have a little lie down and a nice cup of peppermint tea for 5 minutes, I think. Cheerio.